Homestuck, one of the most successful, popular, and infamous webcomics, got a pilot. Even the original creator, Andrew Hussey, is involved. The pilot begins in the desert, and we see a little firefly named Serenity, which is a reference, meeting the narrator, the wayward vagabond, played by Chris O'Neill from Oniplay. One reminder sees the typical average guy. His room's covered in posters, blurred just enough to avoid copyright, straight from the comics. Notably Con Air, Ghostbusters 2, Mac and Me, Face Off, Armageddon, Ghost Dad, and so on and so forth. Happy birthday, son. I'm so proud of you. The guy gets dressed, and we get a complete recreation of the intro from the comic.
A young man stands in his bedroom. It just so happens that today, the 13th of April, 2009, is this young man's birthday. This is,
I really like them turning the wayward vagabond into the narrator.
Zoo-Smell Poop Lord!
It's John, actually. John Egbert.
Zoo-Smell Poop Lord!
John Egbert is played by Toby Fox. Yes, that Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale. All the people not in the know would think that's weird, but actually Toby's best friends of Andrew Hussey. Undertale was made in Andrew Hussey's basement, and there's tons of references in Undertale to Homestuck. And yes, Megalovania wasn't Homestuck, but it first appeared in the Halloween hack of Earthbound. This is not even the first time he played John, because he also played him in a joke song he later reused for Pokemon Sword and Shield. The narrator describes John basically one for one from the comic.
Playing video games, programming computers, poorly, researching paranormal lore, watching terrible movies, and aspiring to be a magician.
John's best friend Dave Strider calls him. He's played by the same guy who plays Marco, which makes this edit from years ago hilarious.
Tell me what insane loot you got.
Well, Dad went on another one of his baking rampages, so the house is full of fucking cakes again.
In Dave's room, he in fact does have a double disc player, photos of himself, Snoop Doggy, and from the corner of your eye you can see a little drawing that's clearer later of Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff, some of his original characters. John got his first gift, which was a poster.
Little fucking monsters! Jesus Christ, I stand corrected. Old man really came through.
Unlike the other posters, this is clearer and based on a real film. I guess to avoid copyright, Fred Savage gets to dress like Marty McFly. John looks for something to hang it with. He has a little trouble with his Silodex capture log, which is his inventory. One thing includes a hammer and a book, Wise Guys as opposed to Colonel Sassacre's, as well as some smoke pellets, which will probably be important later. John hears the narrator explaining how the capsule log works, comedically shortly compared to the comic. You only get so many slots, and if you put too much in, it'll fall out. Well, Dave's bro hooked him up with HashMap. He's got way more storage space. Like some apple juice, which I hope is not like the apple juice in Little Monsters. To free up space, John needs to have a weapon. Instead of using the weird fake hands, he uses a hammer. Dave thinks that's lame because his house is full of katanas, which will be important in a different episode. But what is important is the beta to a game called Spurb is arriving. Dave was actually calling more about that. I mean, he's got like 2 copies, but he wasn't even going to play it, really. But the arm thing on the mailbox is up, but man, Dad's here. He's really overbearing, so John has to go in disguise to get it. He falls down the stairs, and the house is decorated with Harley Quinns, because John's dad's really into them, and a photo of John from the comic. On the fireplace is his Nana's urn, and right next to it is another present. So John walks funny over to it.
You can do anything if you put your mind to it. I believe in you. Aww.
He gets startled by the new Harley Quinn and knocks over the urn. He gets a call from his other friend, Rose Lalonge, played by Jeremy Lee, who's honestly kind of perfect. I know a lot of people fan-canon her to be Shigo from Kim Possible, but I think this voice really works for her.
Hello, John. I understand you've recently come into the possession of the Game of the Year as featured in respectable periodicals such as Game Bro magazine.
Wow, Dave's a filthy fucking liar.
Well, John, that's just kind of your opinion, and Rose thinks he's kind of fine. We see their pester handles or usernames. Ectobiologist is John. Turntech God Hand is Dave. Garden Gnostic is a character we'll meet later named Jade. And Tentacle Therapist is Rose. Rose plays a little tune, and there's posters straight from the comics, including some horror terrors, which is the Homestuck equivalent of a Lovecraftian beast. John might think Dave's a little bit foreign too, which Rose eats up because she loves psychoanalyzing people. Possible hint to June Egbert. But no time for that because he still has to hide from his dad. Rose thinks that's kinda dumb, the disguise and all. But she has her own troubles to deal with, like the power failing, something's falling from the sky, her cat has a crypt, and really who's her to say because she also thinks her mom is overbearing. John makes it outside until he gets a call from his other friend, Jade Harley, played by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who is probably best known as the modern voice of Tails and Sonic, but I know her best for everything else in this photo. And honestly, she's kinda perfect.
Did you get my package yet?
Hey, Jade.
Turns out the mailbox is empty. John drifts off into space as the narrator rambles.
Mute narration!
Please, John. And you guys say I'm spacey?
Sorry.
Jade's presence in the car. Well, she's just glad that it arrived. And hiding from your dad kind of reminds her of a game she plays with her grandpa, but she also doesn't know about Spurb. But she hears something on her end and goes to investigate. John goes to grab the game, but gets interrupted by Dave because he missed the title drop.
Up at the sky, boom, there she fucks. Hella jolt of protag syndrome. Not that I'ma be the hero of this bitch. That's all you,
You're
bestie.
such a piece of shit. Can you just
Look
tell
in
me?
the sky, numbnuts!
Well, that's pretty cool. Hey, what's that next to it? A meteorite? John gets back in the house. The game is right there, but Dad's in the way. And with a pesky dad in the way, there's only one thing to do. Strife, which is the Homestuck term for fight. Hammer against cake. John's not doing too good, and it gets over-the-top anime style. John's holes in the walls are shaped like him. This eventually leads into the air, where they Dragon Ball for a while until Dad uses Hellzone Cake, knocking the smoke pellets out of John's Silodex, and then shoving the cake into him also knocks the book out. The book collides with the smoke grenades and stinks up the house. As Dad deals with that, John grabs his present, and finally, he can download Spurb. Our first time actually seeing a copy, like the box of the game. Rated E for everyone, SN, probably Skynet. The checkerboard and salamanders will be important later, and the narrator helps him install it. Dave's like, whatever. Rose says cool, and Jade is really excited to go on adventures with everyone.
When you say it like that, Jade, it sounds like you know the future.
The Wayward Vagabond then checks in on Jade's camera. She's sleeping. She's a little narcoleptic, which is why she's got the color rubber bands on her fingers to help her remember. She also lives on a private island that kind of resembles a frog, and she has a robot self. A temple that will be important later. Jade in a golden dress next to a volcano. Possibly that golden dress relates to a golden city on a golden moon. A loading screen, and we get just rapid fire of future Homestuck stuff. Like John fighting Carapacians, Dave dealing with his sprite, little Cal cameo, Rose's house burning down, Jack Noir taking the spot of the Wayward Vagabond, seeing the comic page of what will literally get recreated, the alien troll Karkat Vantis posing with his sprite ghost dad called Crab Dad, something that'll be really important later. Who the hell is this douchebag? It's Andrew Hussey, the creator, and on his computer is the Trolls 12. Fairy, the nice one, Eridan, the prince one, Gamzee, the clown, Equius, the weird one, Vriska, the undying, Terezi, the goblin, Kanaya, the fashionable one, Nepeta, the cat girl, Solix, the cool one, Tavros, the sweet boy, and Aradia, the tragic one. We also see the room of Karkat Vantis, which is very similar to John's. We only hear Karkat growl, we don't actually hear him speak, despite him having a voice credit. It's a little too short for my liking, but I feel like this pilot does a good job starting out. It does an excellent job recreating the early comic and condensing it way to hell down for the best. The characters act like how they're supposed to, and their voices are very nice and fitting. And due to the power of hindsight, we were able to kind of condense a lot of storylines, so a lot of stuff that was not done until Act 2 and 3 are set up here. A lot of Homestuck is told via the pesterlogs, which is old internet chat rooms. The modern equivalent would be Discord. I really like the way they adapted this by having the characters call each other more, and the characters being side to side, and the little pop-ups. It's really cute. The animation's pretty good, especially in the fight scenes, and the character designs are pretty nice. The pilot just sort of ends at like the literal beginning of the game, but there's clearly a lot more they can do. The original creators being on board, but even then, Sky Hendrickson, the co-creator, is very passionate about Homestuck and wants to continue. So hopefully it'll go to series and we'll have the entire story told. But until then, it's definitely too short, but I still enjoyed it. 7 out of 10. Let me know your opinions down below, as well as hitting the like button, subscribing, and did you read Homestuck before? Or were you an Undertale fan who was confused by Toby Fox being in a Vizzy Pop work?